And rejoining me now is our director of scouting, Craig Button, and Pierre-Luc Dubois hasn't even played a game with the Winnipeg Jets yet, and already John Tortorella has bent Patrik Laine. What did you think of it?
Well, the trade was really good, Dutchie. You know, Jack Roslovic, he's really... Oh, you want to talk about Patrik Laine. Sorry about that. Well, what do I make of it? Hey, listen, I call it Tort's Law. It's as simple as that. You heard Cam Atkinson talk about it. You know, there's certain things that have to occur when a player is playing. Effort with players, you know, trying to learn a new system. And he touched on that I'm going to talk with Patty, and I got to listen to Patty. But you got to dig in. And if you're playing for John Tortorella, there's no other way. And probably for Patrik Laine, he is realizing what every other player that's played for John Tortorella. Anything less than your best effort isn't going to cut it. He might be forgiving, but he's not going to be forever forgiving. Patrik Laine got a dose of Tort's Law in this one.
Do you think John Tortorella would bench Tom Brady?
Yes, he would if he didn't put in the best effort. But Tom Brady always gives you the best effort.
Yeah, and so do you. Thanks very much for this, Craig.
For more, we bring in Mike Kelly to break down all of Monday's action, and it might be the last thing John Tortorella wants to do, but he has shown he's not afraid to bench several players throughout his tenure in Columbus and elsewhere. So Dean Kukan and Patrik Laine on short leashes, and I guess for Laine, it's a very quick introduction to Torts-style hockey, huh?
Yes, is it ever? We just saw this whole thing play out with Pierre-Luc Dubois, but, you know, John Tortorella says this is not something that he wants to be doing. And he also said a couple times with each guy that it's not one thing. It's a collection of things that add up that lead to these benchings. So we'll start with Dean Kukan. And you go back to the game, the 6-5 game on Sunday. First goal that Carolina scored. Kukan's got a great opportunity to clear the puck out. We see a couple of examples here of Carolina forechecking against Dean Kukan and him not being able to move the puck effectively. And that's what leads up to this play, which is the first Carolina goal where it net. So there were not only a game before, but plays before in this game that led to him being sat for that goal. And then Patrik Laine, we saw the last shift that he played. It was Carolina's second goal of the game where he doesn't have his guy on the weak side post, and it's right off a face-off here. Carolina does a great job of getting pucks to the net off face-offs. They're one of the better teams, and there's Laine 29, and that's a forward that slides down low. Coverage there, not off the top of my head, but John Tortorella didn't like it, obviously, and again, we see he did not play 1 second in the third period or after that in the second period. But as Tortorella said, it's not one thing that leads to these benchings. It's a collection of things. Laine will have a chance to redeem himself by doing what he does better than anybody. That's put pucks in the back of the net.
Exactly. Yeah, we can't wait to see what he brings to the ice his next time out. Thanks, Mike. Let's get...
Just a crazy game yesterday where it felt at times like you really couldn't quite tie them down. How much better do you feel about just the defensive effort the more close to the game you wanted to play tonight?
We were better in certain minutes of the game. We still have a lot to work on. I still think we're a terribly disjointed team in all facets. But the past two games, I think the effort's been there. I think we worked hard in the 6-5 loss. I thought we worked hard tonight, but we have a lot of things to iron out.
You shortened your bench, most notably with Laine not playing end of the second, all of the third. What was behind that? Was that the missed check on the McGinn goal? Or what?
No, that you know that's going to stay in house. I know you guys are going to try to work me on that. No, it wasn't because of the missed assignment. There's a number of things that come into play with that, and that'll stay in the locker room.
So is it different when you scratch somebody after a goal like that for the end of the period? Is it a different level of response or punishment from the coach if you scratch them for the entire period to follow?
It's what I feel I need to do. The last thing I want to do is bench a player. But as I answered your first question, we're just disjointed in all areas. Quite honestly, both on and off the ice. So we just it's an easy thing to bench a player. that's the last thing I want to do. But if I think I need to do it, then I need to do it. And I did with Patty, and I felt I needed to do with Kooks in where he was just struggling so bad. And this came in from the last game, too. Kooks has given us some really good hockey, but the last couple of games, it's been a struggle.
Okay. Next, we'll go to Jacob Myers. Go ahead, Jacob.
On that Tuesday, you have a lot to work on with this team. This might be sugarcoating it a little bit, but how nice is it to get individual efforts from guys like Jack and Cam when you absolutely can't have it?
Yeah, it's a hell of a goal by Jack. Jack's probably been one of our most consistent players, and Cam has shown signs. He scores, as far as the penalty shot, he does a great job there. Had some good shifts. I thought a number of players had good shifts at times, but we're not as a team. We're not, and we got to figure out how to play as a team. And as I said last night, that's a big part of my job, and we're going to try to do it the right way and see if we can just get ourselves together.
Next, we'll go to Greg Wyshynski. Go ahead, Greg.
Thanks a lot. Hey, John. Cam was saying before that he's been the guy who's been benched, at points in his career, and was talking about communicating with Laine and why things happen. I was wondering, how much do you depend on your leadership group to be an intermediary in situations like this, especially with a player that's in your dressing room?
Yeah, I think it's important that teammates help one another. But I hope my feeling is with players, I don't think we need anybody in between us. I think we can discuss it. Patty and I will discuss it. I think it's important that the players and coaches discuss situations. And, we got a good group there, and they'll help. But, I'm sure Patty and I will talk about certain things that we're looking for here and try to make him understand. And I got to listen to him also. And get about it here. And this is all process of, and I told you, and I just said it here tonight, I've got to get this team to play as a team and care as a team, or we'll continue to play the hockey that we're playing right now. And it's my job.
Okay. Next, we'll go to Dave Mental. Go ahead, Dave.
Thanks, John. Obviously, Laine was the big name in that trade, but Roslovic has given you a point tonight since he got here. How familiar with him were you before he got here, and how much more responsibility are you giving him because of the way he's responded?
I wasn't familiar with him. I knew of him just from him being in the area here. Hadn't seen him play a whole bunch. Heard some really good things about him, and we got two good players in that deal. And Jack determines the amount of ice time that he gets. He's played. He's learning on the other side of the puck. We're trying to teach him on the other side of the puck, and I think he's really delivered offensively as far as the swagger that he has offensively, and has been a big plus for us. And I think it's probably very rewarding for him, and it should be him scoring the winning goal tonight. And I thought Corpy gave us a chance. We were good at times, struggled at times. Another game that was very inconsistent, but we found a way to win, and that's a huge play by Jack late in the third period.
And on Corpy, fourth start in a row, did he show any signs of that fatigue? I know you were relying on that tandem, which now is not an option. Yeah,
no, Corpy, I thought Corpy made some big saves. It's just, they throw a lot of shots to the net. They have a very mobile and a D that can move laterally to try to get their shots. I thought we did a much better job tonight in blocking shots, whether it be the first layer or second layer. A lot of second layer blocks down by our net. But I thought Corpy was really good. He made some key saves, and he's been a pretty consistent performer for us right on from the beginning of the year.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Mark Scheig. Go ahead, Mark.
Thanks, Glenn. John, I just have to ask you about Scott Harrington, just because he's got a really hard job in having to wait his turn, come in, play for an injury, gets a big goal tonight. Just comment on how professional he's been handling this situation.
No, Harry's gone through hell with us. As a guy that's scratched and skated, and I mean, for how many years for us, and he has been a consummate pro. He's so well liked in the room, and he has handled this situation so well. So Harry, we had discussions about other players coming in, this, that, the other thing, but Harry's such a trier and has handled himself so well. I just think he needs an opportunity, and I check in with him every once in a while, and he's handled himself so well in not just months of this, but years of this, and he deserves a lot of credit.
Finally, we go back to Aaron Portzline. Go ahead, Aaron.
John, you've dealt with more than a few elite star players in your day. How do they handle being benched like this? Is it always different for each guy? What do you expect Laine to do? How do you expect
I don't know. We have a day off tomorrow. I'm sure Patty and I will talk, and I know. I know you think it's a big thing. I think it's part of a process of understanding our team concept, how we do things here, the discipline of being a pro. All that stuff comes into play, and I'm still learning. We've got, I think, 6 or 7 new players here that we're trying to filter into a standard of play and culture that I am damn proud of how we've gone about it the past 3 or 4 years. I'm proud of how we present ourselves. And it's been a little bit of a struggle to get to that standard this year. And things happen in trying to get everybody there. And through hell or high water, I'm going to try to find a way to get us to that tightness with a lot of new bodies coming in here and understanding the standard and the culture that we want here.